Something that I've been noticing a lot really is that many spiritual seekers have been getting confused about prayer. Many people, and rightly so, will say to me, everything is the divine. I understand that everything is consciousness, everything is God. So what is the value in prayer? Aren't I just praying to myself? This is an amazing question, and I've seen it and I've been receiving it so much recently that I wanted to make this video to give you complete clarity on exactly what prayer really is. I think it's extremely misunderstood, and I want to give you complete clarity today. I think from the first point of view, many people look at prayer from the religious perspective, which is God's over there or up in the sky somewhere, and I'm here and I'm praying to this thing that is completely separate from me, and all us peasants down here are just talking to this God that is miles away, out of reach, but we're down here. The deeper understanding of prayer, in my opinion, is that prayer is a little bit like this 50p coin. So in the UK, we've got this 50p coin, and probably similar to other places around the world, it's got the two sides. It's got the heads and it's got the tails. But at the same time, it's one coin. So whilst it's got these two aspects, it is ultimately one. It's one coin. Our experience is quite similar to this, in that from the relative point of view, we're a human being. We're here, we're having this human experience, we have our own thoughts. 1 minute we might be happy, the next day we might be angry. The next day we might be really joyful, we might be blissed out in meditation, and then someone says something to us and we feel insulted. So we've got this human part. On the flip side of that, as I mentioned at the start, you may have the understanding that everything is actually one. There's no separation between anything. I'm the divine, you're the divine, everyone around us is the divine. So there's this absolute perspective, which is like the one coin, and then there's the relative perspective, that the coin actually has two halves. What many people do, and I do understand why this happens, is that people look at life from purely the absolute point of view. So the coin can't pray to itself, right? Let's just say the coin was two people on the other side. The coin itself can't pray to itself. However, the heads could, in theory, pray to the tails. Now, I know it's a silly analogy to use, but hopefully you're starting to see the picture in that although we are the divine, at the highest level we are all one with God, it's necessary that we accept our humanness and we accept the experience that we're having at the moment. Because whilst we can sort of take this elevated stance and say, oh, I'm the divine, why would I pray to myself? You can say that and you can believe that to be true, but then 10 minutes later you're driving down the road and someone pulls out on you and all of a sudden you're angry. Or perhaps you want to go to the gym the next day and you wake up in the morning and you think, I can't be bothered to go to the gym. So what I'm really pointing out here is that you're not as in control, and I'm not, and all of us aren't. We're not as in control of ourselves as we think we are. We're getting swept away by emotions. We're getting swept away by different personalities and different aspects of ourselves. So whilst on one hand it's true and accurate to say that we are the divine, on the other hand, we're not accepting our humanness if we do that, because there is an aspect of ourselves that rises up and takes control in many moments. But like the coin, ultimately, it's all one. So what prayer is, from my perspective and my belief, is that prayer is like saying, okay, I'm accepting the human part of me. I'm accepting that at the moment I've got this relative experience, my own thoughts, my own feelings, etc. And I'm going to pray to the divine, which is my own nature. It's who I really am. But I'm going to pray to the divine. And when you see people pray, they put their hands together. When I pray, I tend to. You don't have to, but I tend to put my hands together. To me, this is symbolic of the small I, as in the human self, coming together with the big I, to find this oneness, to merge the mind in the divine, to become who you really are. Now, I do believe that prayer needs to be coupled with this understanding of the divine is not some faraway thing that we're praying to. The divine is everything. The divine is our very own deepest nature. I do think that understanding is helpful, but I do think that people come to that realization eventually by themselves. But I do think that it's quite misleading and a bit of a warped perspective to look down on prayer as if it's something that creates duality when we fall into duality all the time throughout the day in other areas of our life. So this acceptance, in my belief, in my opinion, needs to be there, that we are a human being, we're having a human experience, but at the same time, we're always one with the divine. And praying to our own nature is allowing the divine energy to flow through us and help us. And I don't know about you, but people can tell me all they like that I'm praying to myself or that prayer has no value. I feel the bliss and the peace expand and permeate every cell in my body when I'm really connected. I feel that. So I'm not bothered what people say because it's an experience that I have. I know I'm connecting to something. I'm not going to say greater because it's me anyway. It's you as well. But I hope what I'm talking about now and how I'm expressing this is helping you to understand a bit more clearly, if you didn't already, that prayer is extremely, extremely valuable. It's a direct communion with your own God nature, with the divine. And some people will pray to Krishna or Jesus or a figure or face or personality or symbol, some sort of image that they can create in their mind because it helps their mind have some direction. But as I mentioned earlier, it's helpful to have the understanding, couple that with the understanding that that picture, that image, that symbol that you're directing your prayers to is really you. It's not separate from you, it's who you really are. So I hope this gives you a bit more clarity on the power of prayer. I hope it promotes you and sort of instigates you to continue prayer because it's such a beautiful and empowering practice. I hope this makes sense. Please let me know your perspective in the comments as well. I'd love to hear what you think about my videos. And if you're interested in learning more about meditation and connecting more with the divine, feel free to check out my online school. I'll put a link in the description below. But failing that, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.